Are you wondering why you're not manifesting what you want? Hi, I'm Cora Naylor, energy healer, and I facilitate magical manifestation circles. So today, I want to tell you one reason why you might not be manifesting what you want. And it might seem kind of obvious. One of the main reasons we're not getting what we want is because we're not being specific enough. And it sounds so obvious. So, the thing to remember too is that you've been manifesting your whole life, even if you haven't been aware of it, because it's all about going on in our thoughts. When one of the things I manifested for myself when I was a kid is a horse. I always wanted to have a horse. And I mean, we lived in a town. I didn't live on a farm when I was a kid. Um, but every birthday, I would wish for that horse and I'd wish for that. And I just knew that one day I was going to get that horse. And then eventually I did get that horse, but he wasn't the horse that I wanted. Um, I wanted my friend's horse. She had this horse that was so gentle and nice and kind. And, she would just stand there so you could get on her like so easy. And I ended up with a scaredy cat horse. He couldn't take a bridle, so I had to put a special kind of bridle on him, Hackamore, because he couldn't take a bit in his mouth. If I would ride him and we'd go around the corner and the sun was shining and there was a shadow on the road, he would freak out and start, jumping up and down and run home, and I couldn't control him. So I never really enjoyed him, even though that's one of the things that I had always wanted. So, what is the thing that you want? We hear a lot of times people saying they want to manifest abundance. But what does that mean for you? Like, what is abundance to you? It's different for everyone. Does abundance mean more money, bigger house, smaller house, more holidays, vacations? What exactly is it that you want? The universe wants you to be specific. So if you're not sure what you want, oftentimes you'll be sure about what it is that you don't want. Sometimes that can be easier and it sounds a little counterintuitive. So if that's the case, what I would like you to do is grab a sheet of paper, draw a line down the middle, and on the left-hand side, you're going to write down all the things that you don't want for whatever it is. Like say you want a go on more vacations or you want to go on a magical vacation of some sort. So what are the kind of things you don't want? Like you don't want your plane to be late, you don't want to be next door to noisy neighbors. Like what are the things that you don't want? And then on the right hand side, directly across from each of the don't want things, that's where you're going to write down what you do want, because what you do want is the exact opposite of the things that you don't want. So write those down. And then when you get to the end of your sheet, scribble off the ones that were on the left-hand side, the ones that you don't want, because you don't need those anymore. So sometimes it's as simple as doing an exercise like that, but it is important to be specific. The universe wants you to tell it exactly what it is that you want, because otherwise you're not going to get it, or you're going to get the partial thing that you wanted and not exactly the thing that you wanted. And I know that it sounds crazy, but it's like uh, even last a couple of years ago, my husband and I manifested a new vehicle. And this was during the time when there was no chips for cars. We had said we wanted to upgrade. I have a Toyota RAV and we wanted to upgrade it. So I said to my husband, well, the next time we go in to get it serviced, we'll just ask the guy, what he thinks he can give us for a trade-in. But we drove in there and there was no cars in the parking lot, basically no cars there. So we got in, we talked to the salesman, and before going there, I had said to my husband, the only thing I didn't want, or I wanted that we didn't have in our old one, is I wanted a heated steering wheel. I just thought that'd be so great for in the winter, right? And my husband wanted it to have the capability of towing, because at the time we had a trailer that we needed to tow. So those were really the only two things that we really wanted. So we got into the shop, and wouldn't you know it, the guy said someone had brought in a trade-in the day before we got there, and he hadn't even looked at it yet. So we went ahead, looked at it, ended up buying it. But you know what? We love it. But you know what? It doesn't have the cup holders are kind of weird. Like the whole setup for the cup holders is wonky, not like in our previous car. So it's like, oh, I didn't even know I needed to ask for that. I got my heated steering wheel though. So just to keep that in mind when you're manifesting something, to ask for exactly what it is that you want. So, another way to help you get what you want if you can't get out of your head is to manifest with other people. So, taking the focus off of yourself. And this is what happens in my magical manifestation circles. In those circles, we meet once a week for an hour for 6 weeks, and it's just a small group. I bring in 5 ladies and we do the work together. So, what happens is we take turns setting intentions, and then we do a short meditation where everyone sends the energy to that other person's intention. And what's really cool about that is it takes the focus off of yourself, but then in turn, you get what you want because you're now helping other people get what they want. If you want to know more about that, I will leave a link in the comments to my next manifestation circle that is starting next week on September 12th. And I'd love to have you join us. And if you have any other questions, please comment me or send a message. I'd love to chat with you and learn more about what you do. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.